Yes, hello everybody, and welcome to Free Coaching Friday. This is something we do at Beyond Entrepreneurs every single week at 2 p.m. We come to you to answer all the questions that we receive throughout the week. Believe it or not, we receive a lot of questions. We cannot answer all of them, unfortunately, but we take some of the most important that we really think are valuable to the most amount of people. We also take insights that we get from working with private clients. And we bring all of that to you in this. We're going to try to make it a 30-minute session roughly. So welcome. Thank you for being here today. Viet, it's great to see you again.
Hey, Alex. For me, your image is still, I don't know, for the people who are watching, I hope it will restore. I'm still hearing you perfectly, but your image has frozen for me. Now,
okay.
Anyway, I would like to explain a concept which one of the members of Beyond Entrepreneurs community talked to me about over the last week. It was a she, and she came to me with like, how does the system? We did some talks about the image has restored, by the way, Alex. We did some talks in the past on how the system of money works, how currency works, because we get a lot of questions and how does it work, and can you explain us maybe on a little bit more about this or how the increase of the money supply and the actual present situation, what it all is happening now. The idea came to me when I was riding my bike. I have a high-speed bike, Alex, which allows me to ride 45 kilometers an hour. Actually, don't know how much it is in miles an hour, but I guess it's
fast.
That's divided by 1.6, I guess.
That's fast.
It's fast. And when you're biking, when you're cycling so fast, it can become dangerous to other people on the road, because they cannot anticipate and they do not expect the speed at which you are coming. So I was thinking about, because that's how I am, how could you make a campaign? Because I actually understood the danger in my high-speed driving on, let's say, bike roads next to the road where also pedestrians are walking and stuff. I thought of a campaign, I thought of the sentence, with great power comes great responsibility. And that would be very nice sign with like a biker with a high-speed bike, and then stay prudent, please, high-speed bikers, because there are still other people on the road as well. So that apart for the campaign, but it illustrated to me also how this works. So this is like a 20 euro note, and it's actually a promise. It's a promise that there's value stored in this note. Someone created value once upon a time in the world, and it was stored in this note. That is why I say you should have respect for money, because it's someone's value creation that is in there, and it's not just something. So what I came to understand with thinking about this campaign is that if you hold the responsibility, if you hold the power to create the money, like the central banks actually have, then they can actually make a lot of promises. They can just print promises that whatever they put in numbers on digital screens or in paper bills are actually store of values. And now we talked about commitments this week, Alex, and I explained to the audience in the Daily Nugget, we explained that there are 3 types of commitments. There's the sincere, the true, the strong commitment. Then you have a weak commitment and a criminal commitment. I'm not going to explain it again. You can watch it on the channel, but it comes down to when you make a criminal commitment, you're actually committing yourself, but you know you're not going to do it. So if you hold the power to print money, then you can actually go from a strong commitment. That means I'm keeping track of all the value in the world, and I'm printing enough money to keep track of the amount of value. So printing money is necessary because we're growing and adding value as a world economy. We're growing every day. Technology is improving. So it's okay that the money supply is increasing. That is okay. But if you hold this power and you print too much of it, this promise, this paper promise, is going to become a lie. And when this tipping point is reached, with great power comes great responsibility, the whole system collapses because no one is going to believe the promise anymore, and it's going to be like a natural disaster times 10, meaning that no one's going to believe the promise, so the promise will stop, and this is just going to be paper again, just like this is a piece of paper, both pieces of paper, but can store value discount. Physically there's no difference. Meaning that if people would like to understand, it's okay that the money supply is growing if those people stay responsible and keep their great powers within their own boundaries. And that is, of course, a very difficult exercise, I understand. So I have complete understanding how difficult it must be, but you still have to be, careful about how many promises you can print. So that was the explanation from my lesson from cycling this week and discussing with a client, Alex.
Yeah, this is such a powerful concept, Beat, because unfortunately what we see so many people do, and this is also what we really strive to do at Beyond Entrepreneurs, is to educate people on what money and wealth actually are. Look, whatever you hold in your wallet today, it's a 20-euro bill, a 50-euro bill, all it is, like Beat is saying, is a promise to pay something, but it is not wealth per se. A lot of people don't believe that the system is going to change, because we believe that what's happened in the past 10 years is going to keep happening in the next 10 years. But what you need to know is that things have always changed over the long term. That piece of paper that he just had in his hand will ultimately, at some point, be worth nothing. Now, whether that point is going to happen in 5 years, in 2 years, in 10 years, no one really knows. That's why we always encourage having some sort of safety and just being aware of the fact that because you accumulate a whole bunch of cash doesn't actually mean that you are wealthy. We always advocate the ownership of productive assets that produce income. Then whether we get paid in euros or seashells or gold coins or whatever the new form of money or Bitcoin is going to be is not as important as the fact that we own an asset that produces value. So I think this is really, really important because it has investment implications as well. If you keep, one of the things that I often say is that you don't want to keep large amounts of cash for the very long term. You always want to be investing it. And you might be wondering, well, if money is going to, disappear, what does that mean? Well, the first thing you need to know is that every year that you keep money in a bank account, it loses value. You are certain to lose. Now you might be thinking, well, I do earn 0.5% interest, or maybe you opened an account like 10 years ago and you managed to lock in a 3% interest, or maybe whatever it is that you might have right now. If you have a 3% interest, you should be considering yourself lucky.
Let us know.
Exactly. Yeah, let us know how you got that. But the important thing to know is that every single year, inflation, which officially is at between 1% and 3%, but unofficially, nobody really knows what the inflation rate is, although you can probably guess it's a lot higher than what the official statistics want it to be, is that every year you're losing money. Every single year, by just holding cash, you're losing your purchasing power over time. And that's why we recommend that you put your money to work in productive assets. Again, these are assets that produce income that no matter the currency, we're going to get paid. Now, next thing, go ahead, B.
Yeah, well, indeed. So I held this note and said it should have been. The promise is that this is a store of value. Now you can store value. You can store value in dwindling assets, like you say. So if you store it in this, it will lose in value. So some of the value will get lost. It will not get lost. It will go to someone else, actually, because no value is ever lost. It can only be stored for the very long term. So that is one thing. So if you store it here, that is a losing asset. Then you can store it, for example, in a golden coin. You have a high chance of storing it for the very long term without losing value.
Exactly.
And then you have the assets that actually are appreciating in value because they become more scarce, because more people want them. So the value they get, intrinsic value, is actually rising. And then you have the productive assets. So you are creating value and you have the choice, where am I going to store it? You have like 4 options or even more. We can think of different ones maybe, but those 4 are already there and obvious. And now how you do this, and the better you get at this game, first of creating value, creating more value. We talk a lot about how you create more value. And then also in, now where do I store it? And that's what we call investing in a way. Yeah. But actually it's storing your created value because it cannot go lost, but you can put it in a place where it dwindles down and it floats to, many other channels. And that is actually the whole game.
Exactly. This is a really good point, guys, because there is a difference between preserving your wealth and then growing your wealth through appreciating assets. A lot of people who want to preserve wealth will invest in things like fine art or wine or gold. Those are things that you can own that over time become more scarce. Why? Because you cannot go back into 1982 and produce another bottle of Chateau Petrus 1982. So inherently it becomes more scarce because you can't make more of it. The same is true with art, the same is true with land, the same is true with gold. Now we're producing a little bit of gold every single year, but gold inherently holds its value. But you can choose to invest it in assets that actually create more value than appreciated value. So I hope this is kind of clear, and it's a bit of a vast topic, and maybe we can elaborate more on it over the next couple of weeks to really help you guys understand what wealth is, how money is created, what that means for you as an investor. Now, just know that there's no need for you to freak out. It's just important for you to know where you can put your money so that it serves a different purpose. We've talked a lot about investing in productive assets. This is something that we recommend that people do in our masterclass. This is something we teach. We teach exactly how to do it. We just launched a new service, the Gemini Investor, where we teach people the exact assets that they should be buying at any given point in time. Every month we send you a recommendation. These are the world's best assets to own right now, assets that Vita and I would feel comfortable owning for decades. We can give to our kids, that produce income, that produce dividends, and that's really what you want to own over the long term. Now, the next thing you want to be thinking about is, okay, I can kind of understand this. I have a little bit of money. I understand that I shouldn't be, saving it in cash, because at some point that's all going to go away. Again, no one knows when, but it's going to go away. What do I do next? Vita is really good at always telling our viewers and our readers that you don't buy a portfolio, but you build a portfolio. Well, right now we have been lucky in that the stock market has gone up over the last 3 to 4 months, although economic conditions might not be really exactly at the same level of recovery, but that's the story for another time. So you might be wondering, should I be investing? Should I not be investing? And it's a very good question that no one really has an answer to what's going to happen next, okay? But what you want to do is that you never want to sit forever on the sidelines because you're scared, okay? There's a lot of uncertainty, but with uncertainty, with crisis comes opportunity. And I'm sure you've heard this a million times from other people, but in every crisis, there is an opportunity. Vita and I, we specialize in finding opportunities at any given time, in good times and in bad times. And right now, there are incredible opportunities. Again, we talk about it in the Gemini Investor, something that comes out every month. So guys, if you want this, if you want to know what we're investing in, what we think is the best right now, jump on that service, Gemini Stock Investor. But something important is that don't feel rushed to put all of your money at work right now because you think now's the right time or tomorrow's the right time or I'm going to wait a month and then invest everything. The most important is to realize that you always want to be investing. Investing is a continuous game that is every single month and every single week if you want, but maybe that's a lot of work. Every single month, you want to put money to work in whatever opportunity is the best at that time, okay? This is a mistake most people make is they think, well, you know what, I'm going to wait. I have a whole bunch of money. I'm going to wait until 2 months because in 2 months, the market's going to be down and I'm going to buy. But we don't know if the market's going to be down in 2 months. Maybe conditions will have changed. You always want to be putting money to work every single day. For example, I'm buying Bitcoin every single day. Not huge amounts, but I'm buying Bitcoin every single day continuously. I've been doing that for probably about 2 months now, buying Bitcoin every single day. And I'll probably continue for a few more months because I don't feel like the need to say now is the right time to buy Bitcoin. It's the only time, but I'm buying continuously over time. We want to encourage you guys to do the same.
Not only this, it has also been proven, and if you want to read a book about it, guys, and where it explains it really well, I think Unshakable by Tony Robbins is a really good book, Alex.
Yeah.
That it's proven that if you do this, that this method always yields the best results. That's
exactly
very important. Much more than trying to time the market, because everybody is telling it, is stating it everywhere. No one can time the market. Ask anyone who knows a thing or two about investing, and they will tell you no one can time the market. So the winning strategy is doing consistently, just like you're buying Bitcoin, and that is proven.
Exactly, and this is not just with Bitcoin. This is my personal strategy. I'm not telling you that you should go out and buy Bitcoin. But what I am saying is that you want to be acquiring, now Bitcoin is a kind of particular asset, but what we're buying much more of is productive assets that create income, that produce value for other people. We have a lot of these in our portfolio, also in the portfolio that we recommend to people in our new service, the Gemini Stock Investor. We really tell people exactly what they should be buying. Great productive assets around the world. And like Pete was saying, you should always be buying because there are always opportunities somewhere. Tony Robbins will tell you in Unshakable that the most important is time in the market, not timing the market. So you just want to be consistent. And if you're looking for great opportunities, guys, again, recommend you check out the Gemini Stock Investor. And if you have any questions, just drop them here down below. I don't know if you can see my hand. There, go somewhere down below in the comment section. What do you think? Did anything to add on this one?
Oh, I think that's a lot to take in. If you can digest this one over the weekend, it would be already a very good start.
Exactly.
And I sincerely hope, because I see so many people, so many of the listeners, so many of the viewers are so interested in the topic of financial education. That's actually what we're willing to bring here. So it gives us pleasure to do it. And I'm very happy because that's the only way forward. And it's actually the first step in building a life of financial freedom is educating yourself. So go out and also read books, listen to this channel. If you're on the YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to get updates, sign up to the newsletter. I think that's what we can do. That's the value we're bringing to people. And that's something beautiful to end the week with, I guess.
And you guys, just so you know, most of our stuff is free. We write educational newsletters that are really only there to help educate you. We do a day to night live nugget of wisdom every single day where we just share something about finance, investing, building a business that we have from our personal experience, from the clients we work with, or just general financial education. So just make sure that you check in on those. They're hugely valuable. I'm not saying that because we make them, but really because it's information that has been the most important to us, Vita and I, and we share that with all of you guys, and it's all there, it's all free. So make sure to check it out. If that's all we can bring you, that would be a huge gift to us. So guys, just happy to be here, happy to serve, and we'll see you guys on Monday for our daily nugget of wisdom at 10 a.m.
Thank you, Alex. Enjoy the weekend.
You too. Thank you, Pete. Take care.
Enjoy the weekend. Be well. Bye-bye.